As you land onto your mat, just tuning right away into your own body and into your own wisdom as you let yourself just plant into the earth and begin to notice what it feels like to take up this space on your mat and within the space of this room and sanctuary that you've created. Which can really be anywhere, but there is something special about the place that we dedicate to our practice. We dedicate to the practice of listening to ourselves, taking really good care. So we're actually going to start here by just wrapping the hands around the outsides of the arms. You're just going to give a little hug or massage. There's no right or wrong technique here, but just kind of wrapping yourself up like you're giving your heart a hug. And at the same time, you might find that there's some organic movement here. You might find a deeper breath or really anything that feels good to you. Maybe it's just hugging in really tight. Maybe it's a little massage on the arms. But not because you have to or should do anything, but just because it feels really nourishing to yourself. Even just rubbing on the outsides of the arms lightly and getting a sense of your own touch and care. And we'll just run the hands off of the forearms, off of the hands, coming off of the very fingertips. We're going to reach the arms out really wide now, like you're about to give a hug to somebody else. And lifting your heart a little bit, maybe you wiggle the fingers out to the sides and feel your spine getting nice and tall. And take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. Let the arms rain down. We'll land them on the knees or the thighs. And continue with that gentle caress of your own body. So you can run your hands over the knees, over the shins, over the thighs. Just waking up all the pores of your body, all the cells of the skin. Getting tuned into your ability to sense and feel. I just saw this, what would you call it? It's like a principle or idea from the Eastern world. I want to look more into it, but it's called the 5 graces. And you can really just let your hands land once you feel complete with that. The 5 graces are the 5 senses. And I just thought it was a really beautiful term for referring to our senses, because they really are so important to connect to that inner wisdom, right? It's how we engage with ourselves, with each other, with the outside world. And so we'll become, in a short meditation here, we'll become really aware of just our ability to experience these graces, these 5 graces. Let yourself become really still in your seat. And notice how the upper body is balancing over the lower body, finding alignment through the head, the heart, and the hips. Becoming aware of your posture through the chest and the shoulders. Just letting the hands rest lightly on your legs. We'll begin with a sense of hearing and listening for a sound that's really close to you. Without judging or analyzing or even trying to name the sound, just becoming aware of the volume of it, even sort of the texture of the sound, the way that vibration enters your ears. Become aware of a second sound that maybe is coming from a little further away, maybe from outside of the room. Become aware of your body breathing, taking a few easy breaths in and out through the nose, and become aware of the sense of smell. However subtle or strong, again, it's without judgment, without analyzing what it is, where it's coming from, or why it is. And just allowing yourself to take in the experience now. Letting go of good and bad. Become aware of your ability, the grace to see, your ability of sight. And even behind closed eyelids, just becoming aware of the light that might be filtering in from the windows or from lamps. Becoming aware of the darkness also that might fill your space. You can start to sense where that light's coming from, where there's shadows, even with the eyes closed. Become aware of your ability to taste by running your tongue along the outsides of the teeth, the gums, around the cheeks and through the mouth. And take a swallow here, just really getting a sense, maybe from brushing your teeth or whatever it is, just getting a sense of how you can taste. Then touch the tip of your tongue to the top of your mouth and try saying that 10 times. Not really, but just letting the tip of the tongue rest there. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose. Become aware of your ability to feel. This is where we were touching the skin earlier, running the hands over the knees, the shins, and get a sense of the temperature of the breeze, any air, the way that your clothes touch the skin, the textures of your mat. And then just take about 5 more breaths just for yourself, tuning into all 5 graces. Noticing what your spidey senses can pick up on without analyzing, judging, or wondering where, what, or why. Beginning to become more aware of the internal landscape and how these senses turn inwards. Listening from within, seeing within, feeling within. Let's begin to move here then with our wake up routine. So really starting to tune in then to how it feels to sense our energy. You can find K27, begin to give a tap or thump onto these 2 points. Deepening the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Come down to the center of the sternum, one or both hands for the thymus thump. You can start to hear the sound, you feel the thump. If the eyes are lightly open, you might start to see how the day transforms as we move through this morning. You see the interaction with your own body. Let's go to the side seam of the body for the end of spleen, tapping in between the ribs. Nice deep breaths. one more lighter tap on the cheekbones, right beneath the eyes for stomach. Option to tap around the eyes if that feels good to you this morning. And then just kind of brush off the hands or shake off the hands, and you can rub them together a bit here, almost as if you're cleaning the palms. And then bring the hands over the forehead, eyes, and cheeks, and just hold your head in your hands for a moment. Tune into any vibration, temperature underneath of the palms. Feeling that gentle vibration of your body speaking to you. Listening. And we'll just run our hands over top of the head, kind of like you're smoothing hair back. You can smooth them behind the ears, down the neck, and hang onto the shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in here. And exhale, slide the hands over the chest and begin to circle lightly around the heart. Whatever direction feels better to you to start. You can always switch whenever you feel called to do so, or not. Maybe you just keep moving in the same direction. Without much pressure, so really light. You don't need to press or massage into the body, just kind of stirring up this heart energy. Becoming more intuitive in how you move and just letting your body guide you. Maybe those circles start to encompass the throat a little more, start to encompass the solar plexus, or maybe you're just really focused here right in front of the heart center. You can let your breath quiet for a moment if it hasn't already. And bring your hands onto the heart. Let the hands rest onto the body. Taking a quiet moment to set an intention for today. Let your hands come down over the belly, just feeling the skin, resting onto the thighs. Start to deepen your breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and marching the hands in place. You can lift up one arm and just let it fall down to the thigh, switching sides at your own pace. And we'll bring both arms up to cactus shape. And start to cross crawl, opposite hand to thigh. Little rotation through the spine. And finding the rhythm and pace that is soothing to you. Using your exhale as a cleansing breath, releasing any stagnant energy. And refueling the body with nice vibrant breaths in. Slow it down, bringing both hands in front of the pubic bone, reconnecting to that intention that you set, and 3 times then for the zip up. Tracing right up the midline, overhead, and flipping the palms to breathe out and spread that intention into your field. 2 more times. Hook up, middle finger to belly button and third eye. Press in, draw up for 3 more deep breaths. Bring the fingers over the heart again, or hands over heart. Then we'll use the fingers to drag out to the sternum in between the ribs and just rake across the chest, clearing those neurolymphatic points in between the ribs, all along the sternum. And if you find any areas that are a little tender, really giving that some extra love, maybe a little massage. Feeling like you're clearing or sort of raking leaves, just clearing that ground underneath. And maybe you go over the throat a little more, just using that intuitive sense to clear any stagnancy from the lungs and chest. You can visualize here. So if you feel like you've had any junk stuck in the throat or congestion, really like drawing that out. Maybe taking a nice deep breath to help release. And we'll bring our hands to the diaphragm so you can complete that and really transition in your own timing. We'll move into freeing the diaphragm so we can really breathe really freely today. One hand right into where the ribs meet, right below there. Other hand on top and hugging elbows in. Take a nice deep breath in and press the hand into the diaphragm and hold the breath in for as long as it's comfortable. And whenever you feel like you need to release, soften that grip, soften the elbows, just let yourself take that full breath out. We'll do that a couple more times, breathing in, pressing into the diaphragm. Diaphragm presses into hands. When you feel you're ready to release, just soften everything and let go. One more time on your own. And using the hands, flatten them over the belly and start to trace around in a circle. Again, just like we did on the heart, you can go in any direction to start, and then maybe after a while you feel like you want to switch. Or maybe the way that you're going is all that you need to do right now. Really light. Just gently encouraging the energy of the body to flow, to flush. And to move into these smooth patterns of healthy digestion. And then let the hands come all the way down and off the thighs. And we'll come over into our tabletop here. When you find your tabletop, spread your hands out wide. Tuck your toes. And find a lot of distance between your tailbone and the crown of the head. Gently press into the hands and feel the upper body getting stable. Then bring your attention to your center, to the middle of your belly, maybe even a little below the belly button. And draw this space, the center, up towards your spine. So we're not quite doing a cat movement, but it's the same sort of engagement through the belly where you're drawing in and up, sort of making like a concave shape in your torso. And we're going to take a moment here to really connect to this center. Hands pressing down, belly button drawing up towards spine, and then press into your toes and lift the shins off the mat just an inch or two. Just for a moment, feeling that center, that strength start to come into the body, and then release the knees down. One cycle of cow and cat. Lower the belly, look forward. And exhale, draw the center up towards your spine, and this time really rounding the spine. Come back into your tabletop, toes are still tucked. Press into the hands, lift the belly button up towards the spine. Same thing, lift the knees off the mat, hover your shins for just a moment. Lower the knees down, one cycle of cow and cat. Inhale, belly lowers and stretches. And exhale, round the spine, connecting to your center. We have one more time in that hovering tabletop. So come back to the middle, engage through your center, press into the toes, lift the shins. Try to hold 3 breaths here. The face can remain calm, the mind calm, even if the body starts to shake. Staying really aware of your body here. One more breath, you got it. And lower the knees down. Go a little wider with the knees, big toes touch, child's pose. Release down onto the mat, extending the arms as far forward as you can. Walking the fingertips like little spiders forward on your mat. Maybe you let the head rock a little side to side, massaging the third eye. Take a few deep breaths here, stretching in the back body, reaching out through those shoulders and fingers. Start to visualize how the energy might move through this posture and how you're sensing that it is moving. On your next inhale, come forward to tabletop. Realign the knees under the hips. Inhale the right arm up and out, just twisting to your extent. We're going to thread the needle, but we're not going to come all the way down. So you're just going to thread it underneath of the left arm and gaze out to the left. But then we'll inhale and come back to the twist. So unwind all the way up. Exhale, thread towards the left side, twisting through the upper back. One more time, inhale. Connecting to your center as you twist. There's that little hug in the belly. Then come back in the tabletop and switch sides. Left arm comes up. Exhale, thread through the other side. Next 2, on your own, follow your breath. Starting to move into your yogic breath. Coming back into tabletop, tuck your toes and lift the hips into downward facing dog. It's our first one. It's early in the morning, so knees generously bent. Maybe you pedal out through the heels. You can move around in the ankles a bit, the hips, the head, anything that feels good and helps you just start to open up that long line of the back body. Head is able to move. Come forward again into your tabletop. You can untuck the toes, find your alignment if you need to here, and then extend the right leg back. Press into the hands, reconnecting to your center, and try to dial the pinky toe down. So feeling the hips level. Now bend the knee so the sole of the foot is pressing up towards the sky. You can even take a little pulse here, like you're stamping a footprint up on the ceiling. And we'll circle the knee, so like a fire hydrant pose, you'll draw that knee out to the side, underneath, foot presses back up, just drawing a nice big circle 3 times in one direction, trying to keep the hips stable, and then switching directions, gently pressing into the arms, just moving through any areas that feel a little stiff or stagnant. Release, right knee comes down, and then switch sides, send the left leg back. Connect to your center, that point beneath your belly button, drawing up towards your spine. Dial the pinky toe down. Bend the knee, lift up the foot, and take little stamps up towards the ceiling. Find your breath. Circling the knee like fire hydrant pose 3 times in one direction. Try not to rush. Noticing all of the emotions, anything that arises as you move. Switch directions if you haven't already. Just letting this time on the mat help us understand and know ourselves better. You can let that knee come back down, and then we'll sit back into child's pose again. So you could spread the knees wide or keep them closed, maybe a different variation. Inhale to tabletop, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Step your right foot between the hands and lower the back knee into your low runner's lunge. Left hand stays down, right arm comes out to the side or maybe up towards the sky, and we'll circle through that right arm, tracing along the length of your mat, the length of the body. Like you're tracing the cycle of the moon or the sun. Switch directions. And then take a stretch up towards the sky. So the next time the arm comes up, really reach it up. And then bring your right elbow to your right thigh, squaring off towards your mat. Tuck the back toe and lift the knee. Extended side angle, pop the back heel down and open the left arm to the sky. Turn the palm up, open through the palm. And then start to draw like a circle on the ceiling. Dipping the fingers back behind you a little bit, like you're spinning a pizza. Switch directions. These can be small circles, subtle, just exploring that movement. Celtic weave as you let the left hand come back down. Staying connected to your center as you transition. When you come back to your runner's lunge, lower the back knee and then shift the hips back into half splits. And this might be helpful with blocks, so you could definitely bring those in. The leg does not need to be perfectly straight, of course. Just going to your extent, taking a fold. And re-ground through the front foot, rolling heel, ball the foot toe, tuck the back leg. And we're just gonna switch sides here. So left foot forward, right foot back. Lower the right knee, low runner's lunge, extend through the spine. Right hand stays down on a block or the mat, left arm sweeps out to the sky, taking big circles along the length of the body. Follow your breath. Maybe it's inhaling for half the circle, exhale for the other half. Switch directions. When the hand comes up towards the ceiling, take a nice big twist. Reach up, open the chest, and bring your left elbow down to the thigh. Gaze towards the mat, tuck your back toe and lift the knee. Transitioning to extended side angle, heel comes down. Connect to your center as you transition. Belly is engaged, right arm comes up, and then flex the wrist, open your palm, and let that energy run all the way through the arm and fingers. And start to spiral your hand on the ceiling. Switch directions. See if you can let those fingertips really dip behind you, opening through the chest and sternum. Celtic weave as you bring right hand down to the mat. Stay connected to your center. And then we're going to take a step forward to the front of the mat. Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot our half splits. Lower that back knee first and shift the hips back. And then come forward to the front of the mat and we'll take a hop forward into a forward fold. Let the head go, bend the knees as much as what feels good. Bring your hands around to the Ming Man point and start to circle on the lower back. Nice yogic breaths in and out through the nose. And start to lift the head, the shoulders, the chest. Draw your elbows and arms back so chest is nice and open. Switch directions of your circles, sitting into a gentle chair pose. Then use the strength of the legs to rise all the way up. Pause those circles, dipping down, up and over the hips to the hip flexors, flipping the palms just a couple times. Open up that gateway, and then trace the palms up and around the chest, then throat, around the mouth for 3 audible breaths. Land your hands back down on the heart. A quiet moment to turn inwards, experiencing your 5 graces. Bring the palms together, connecting heaven and earth. Inhale, split the palms, one up, one down. Exhale, back to heart center. Switching sides, breathe in, hold it in for just a moment. And exhale, back to center. One more time each way. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. And exhale. We're going to move through the 5-element flow, but we're going to do it a little like a shortened version of it. So we'll just do like 2 breaths per posture. And we'll start in water, so you can come down into a little squat here. Just taking 2 breaths in through the nose, blowing out and forward. Hips lift, head folds down. 2 times, expelling the venom. Inhale, arms reach out and overhead. Exhale, SH, throw it down. One more time, stay standing and just press it down. We're just going to do this, bringing down the flame in 1 breath. So the arms are going to come out and overhead, fingertips touch. Ha sound, bring the thumbs down to the crown, third eye, sternum, belly, flatten the palms. Take 1 more breath here. Sweep down and off the legs, shake off the hands at the bottom, and then trace back up spleen. Inhale. Through the shoulders down to the ribs, give a little buzz. Wrap the arms around the waist, rocking side to side for earth. And we'll take a hum here. You could bring the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth again. 1 more time to hum. Release the arms by your sides. And just like we did with fire, where it was just 1 breath through that whole movement, we're going to do the same thing with human touching the divine. So I'll show first, and you can do the next one along. We'll breathe in through the back bends, lifting all the way up. And at the top, you'll exhale with your S sound and slide the hands over the backs of the arms and land on the lungs. We'll do that together. Inhale, back bending as you rise up. S sounds. And taking 1 more of that S breath, resting hands on lungs. Hands come by the thighs. Take a quiet moment to ground and turn your attention inwards. Just notice how you feel here. Bring your hands towards the face. Cover the forehead, eyes, and cheeks. You might even give it a little rub of the face, like you're waking up the eyes, the forehead, the temples. And bring all your fingertips to the center of the forehead. We'll finish here with a crown pull and spinal flush. Pressing into the center of the forehead, draw out to the temples. And continue that, moving back towards the hairline, press in, pull apart. Moving down the center line of the skull. Giving lots of space for the mind to breathe and think clearly. Helping to clear out any stagnancy or stuckness. Continue down the sides of the neck. A squeeze on the traps. You can come around to your chest and rake across in between the sternum, or on the sternum, in between the ribs. And then coming around to the back as high as you can, and continue to move down the spine. Pressing in and pulling apart. When you get to the glutes, you can shake off the hands and just swipe or smooth down the back 3 times. And then let's trace all the way down the outsides of the legs. Just flushing down the yang meridians off the outsides of the feet and shake off the hands. And to help really integrate all of this, we'll trace up spleen one more time, right up the inseam of the legs, the outsides of the hips up to the shoulders, and down to ribs. Mountain pose. Find your posture. Embodying the intention that you set earlier. Letting go of the shoulds, letting go of what you think you need to do to hold your body here, and really just feel into it. Feel yourself vibrating with the energy of the intention that you set, or maybe the intention you want to carry into your day now. Visualizing all the meridians of the body open and flowing like little rivers, moving out through fingers and toes, through all the organs and all of the body. Visualize the brain and the heart and belly in communication with one another. A sort of spiraling of energy up and down, radiating forward and backwards, and spiraling all around your body, visualizing this outer shell, this membrane of your aura that's holding you in this form, holding you in this space. Let yourself vibrate into this energy, your wholeness. And just opening up your mind, your heart, for any wisdom that wants to surface for you here. If there is anything your body wanted to say to you, or your soul wants to whisper to you, allowing that to be heard, felt, seen, even tasted or smelled, all these abilities to sense and feel, giving us clues. Let's bring our hands together to close. A humble gesture, honoring yourself, honoring one another. Honor this day ahead of us and this practice that we share in. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Send out your peace and love. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you have a really beautiful rest of your day.